La Iglesia es un cuerpo con una sola cabeza, que es Cristo. Cuando una comunidad cristiana experimenta una necesidad, todos los miembros del cuerpo eclesial acuden en su ayuda. La colecta con la que durante siglos cristianos de todo el mundo han hecho todo lo posible por la presencia de sus hermanos en la tierra de Jesús es la más importante de la Iglesia Católica porque establece y explica el significado mismo de la caridad, que es el amor de Dios manifestado en Cristo crucificado, muerto y sepultado. Desde que San Francisco llegó como peregrino a Tierra Santa, asegurando que sus frailes permanecieran aquí, cualquiera que fuera el poder político o el gobierno del momento, la Iglesia universal ha encontrado en ellos a los primeros responsables de los lugares santos, que son testigos del paso de Dios en la historia del hombre. La colecta pro Terra Santa está ligada a la vida de la custodia, porque son los franciscanos quienes a lo largo de los siglos han conservado los santuarios, construido obras educativas, han llevado a cabo el diálogo ecuménico e interreligioso, acompañado y sostenido la vida de los cristianos en Oriente Medio.
Siempre subrayo, tanto a los estudiantes como a los demás, que lo que los cruzados no lograron hacer en Tierra Santa, los frailes lograron hacerlo. De hecho, en el libro que escribí sobre la historia de la custodia hay un capítulo dedicado a si podemos llamar a los frailes sucesores de los cruzados. Sí, podemos usar este lenguaje, pero pacíficamente, no con la espada, con oración, con presencia. El objetivo principal de las cruzadas era mantener los lugares santos, y los frailes lograron hacerlo de forma pacífica. Por tanto, esta presencia que existe en Tierra Santa, en cada lugar santo, confirma precisamente esta prerrogativa de San Francisco, que quiso dar esta misión al mundo católico llamándola la perla de las misiones. Entonces, ¿cómo decirlo? La misión más importante para los frailes menores que tenemos en nuestra orden.
Esta colecta siempre ha tenido y hoy aún más vital importancia. Fray Narciso, historiador y archivero de la custodia de Tierra Santa, nos cuenta la evolución de esta institución que involucra a toda la Iglesia y especialmente en este año se vuelve decisiva para la salvaguarda y protección de las obras de la custodia de Tierra Santa.
El primer documento que tenemos que habla de la colecta realizada para Tierra Santa es del año 1455. La bula que tenemos aquí es de Calixto III, la cual da permiso a los frailes de la custodia para viajar a diferentes países y recolectar dinero para los santos lugares. Podría decir que esta es la primera vez que se habla específicamente de recaudar dinero para Tierra Santa. Luego, a lo largo de los siglos, tenemos varias bulas con otros papas como Urbano VIII y luego Pío VI. Confirman todos estos derechos, agregando, especificando cuándo debería hacerse esta colecta para Tierra Santa. Luego se especifica que se podría realizar 2 o incluso 3 veces al año, en domingo u otros días. Por lo que desde el principio no se especifica exactamente que debe ser Viernes Santo. Solo en el siglo XIX encontramos que la colecta debía hacerse el Viernes Santo, donde también se especifica que las ofrendas realizadas para las colectas en las distintas iglesias debían entregarse a los comisarios de Tierra Santa, que luego debían llevarlas a Tierra Santa para la custodia. Las últimas indicaciones concretas son de la bula Nobis in Animo de Pablo VI, el cual ya especifica en 3 puntos cómo se debe realizar la recogida, con qué finalidad y de qué manera, luego distribuido en Tierra Santa. Porque debemos saber que de la colecta del Viernes Santo, el 65% se destina a la custodia, el 35% a las demás obras de Tierra Santa y otros institutos, y por tanto, la mayor parte de la colecta del Viernes Santo, la que llega a la custodia. Realmente está destinada a obras sociales. Estamos en el 80% de obras sociales, es decir, escuelas, parroquias y demás. Es solo una pequeña parte para santuarios. En la bula de Pablo VI se especifica que también se podría hacer en otro día, por lo que se decidirá, por ejemplo, en función de los ordinarios locales. Ojalá hubiera un día más propicio para organizar esta colecta, pero a estas alturas creo que la colecta del Viernes Santo es conocido en todo el mundo. También se usa de esta manera porque tanto teológica como históricamente es más fácil conectarlo con Tierra Santa, con la pasión de Cristo. Así que ayudemos a Tierra Santa porque necesita la ayuda del mundo entero.
Ha bisogno dell'aiuto di tutto il mondo.
Entriamo anche più in una sfera nostra, riguardo anche al nostro servizio di commissari di Terra Santa, molto, molto importante. Siamo dentro questo grande capitolo del verbo sostenere, è un tempo appunto nostro sul tema della colletta della Terra Santa. Ascolteremo nella prima sessione del pomeriggio alcune esperienze di come viene promossa la colletta di Terra Santa, quindi abbiamo con noi fra Robert Mokry, commissario del Canada, poi abbiamo fra Luis Quintana, vicecommissario di Spagna, modererà Vincenzo Bellomo, che coordina un po' la colletta del Venerdì Santo in Italia, con noi commissari. Ho già presentato, quindi sedetevi, facciamo un applauso ai nostri ospiti, ai nostri fratelli, commissari, a Vincenzo.
Good afternoon. You have seen me in many tasks, doorkeeper, accounting, secretary, but today finally not finally because I don't feel comfortable. I feel comfortable on the other side with the brothers too. But this is a part of our work, and we are entering this afternoon a new chapter of our Congress where it's between colleagues, it's between people that are part of the same mission, the same task. This is a very international assembly where already finding a common language is a challenge, and where each one of us arrived with different experiences, perspective, and expectation. To prepare this moment, we asked two commissaries from our assembly to present their work with a focus on one of the pillars of the work of our mission, the Good Friday collection. We are coming, as I was saying, from different countries and from different cultures that are incarnated on the same faith. Therefore, we are called to adapt our mission into the culture that we belong and where we live. And all we know the responsibility we have is very high for many reasons, but I will suggest only two. As first, of course, on the account of the Universal Church that gives trust to the Franciscan such a blessing to be custodian of the Holy Land. And then, and I leave it also as a layperson, for the immense love and interest of millions of faithful Christians around the world that desire to visit, support, and pray for the Holy Land. We know how difficult this mission is for many of you, because being the commissary of the Holy Land is not the only task or responsibility that you have in your province, but very often is one of many. I believe that our community of commissary should be the first platform, the first resource for materials, updates that could be useful in our offices, in our daily mission. So for this we should introduce new words in our assembly like coordination, networking, sharing information between us, because we can find the resources in other commissaries, we can find the resources in other offices, and already work that other commissaries are doing. I would start our meeting asking a few questions to the friars here about their experience, and then I would like to open the discussion to the assembly to take from some of you more insight about your experience, about beautiful stories that could be relevant, or beautiful experience that could be important to share, also challenges that could be important to share with the other commission. First of all, let me again thank you, Father Luis and Father Bob, because of course we are already 3 languages in one stage, and I asked them to prepare some slides, some picture, to come on the stage today and to present their country, because some commissary, they have a small area, Others, they have an entire country, like the case of Canada. Then we will see now that you need to fly 6 hours from east to west, or Spain, where the Catholic Church is very present inside the society, and is the majority of the faith in the country. So we enter into our meeting. We take half an hour almost, and then feel free also the hand to be prepared to give us also some insight. We start with our first question. Maybe we start with Father Bob in English, all right, from Canada. So about your country, just to give an idea about Canada, geography, mobility, difficulties, the Catholic presence in Canada, and the Franciscan presence in Canada.
Okay. Thank you, Vincenzo. Well, Canada is a huge country. It goes from the Atlantic Ocean in the east to the Pacific Ocean in the west. There are 4.5 time zones. There are 2 languages. We work in French and English. There is 1 Canadian province since the past 7 years. And we are probably only about 60 friars, most of whom are quite old. We probably have maybe 15 friars under the age of 50, 55, let us say. So we're in 9 different places in the country. Most of the houses are in Western Canada. We've got 5 there, and 4 in Eastern Canada. Pardon me, 5 in Eastern Canada and 4 in Western Canada. In Eastern Canada, we're basically in the province of Quebec, the big orange province here that you see on the east. And we're mostly just around one area, Montreal, and another small place in between Montreal and Quebec. We have not only 2 different languages, we have 2 different cultures and 2 different churches. The church in Quebec is very different from the church in English-speaking Canada. And there are historical reasons for that and political reasons, but the population of Canada in all of this region, and just to give you an idea, the size of Canada is 33 times larger than Italy, and the population is only 2/3 of the population of Italy. So we are spread very thinly. The Franciscan presence is limited. We, as I was saying, have 2 different churches. The culture dictates the church as well as the politics. 44% of Canada declares itself on census as being Catholic. The practicing population is probably only about 16%. So it's kind of limited. The immigrants are the new church, and the immigrants come from Asia, from India, more particularly in Western Canada, from India, the Philippines, Vietnam, Korea, pretty much that. In Quebec, they come from sub-Saharan Africa, basically. That's pretty much the Catholic population. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see Spain. What about Spain, Father Luis? How much big is Spain? Give us some information about Spain in español.
No. En España teníamos 9 provincias hasta el año 2015. En el año 2015 se unieron 6 provincias y la custodia San Francisco Solano, que dependía de la provincia de San Francisco Solano en Perú. Prácticamente ahora, a nivel general, existen 3 provincias. Una es la provincia de Santiago, desde Santiago de Compostela a la parte de Castilla, León y Asturias. Otra provincia, Aránzazu, su comisario de Tierra Santa está aquí, que es el País Vasco, La Rioja, Burgos, Soria, Valladolid, Palencia, Navarra, esta otra zona. Y las otras 6 provincias unidas con la custodia San Francisco Solano incluye desde Cataluña con Baleares hasta Canarias, todo el resto de España, que son 49 diócesis. Al unir las 6 provincias se unieron 6 comisarías de Tierra Santa. Y es cuando pues, me pidieron que liderara ese proyecto en estos primeros años, del 2015 al 2018, para hacer una sola comisaría. Al principio pensamos posibilidad de hacer 4 comisarías o una comisaría con 4 vicecomisarías, pero se optó por una sola comisaría de Tierra Santa con 6 miembros, comisario, vicecomisario y otras 4 personas que ahí sí que estaban antiguos comisarios de sus territorios, para hacer 3 años de transición serena y aglutinar toda esta misión. También es cierto que en España existe y existía en aquella época muy fuertemente el Centro de Tierra Santa, que había ido adquiriendo pues, en los últimos años pues, algunas funciones que normalmente en otros países las llevan las comisarías, como puede ser hacer la propaganda del Viernes Santo o organizar peregrinaciones. Bueno, pues el padre custodio, Pier Battista Pisabala, me pidió que también asumiera esas funciones que en aquella época tenía el Centro de Tierra Santa, para que ya la comisaría nueva de la provincia de la Inmaculada pues pudiera desarrollar bien su misión. Y así fue desde el 2015 en adelante. Y ahora en el 2018 entró Pedro González como comisario, yo quedé como vicecomisario y los vocales pasaron de 4 a 2. Y así se ha ido renovando en los últimos años, ya uniendo cada vez más el territorio, cohesionando el territorio.
Let's go deep to your work with the church. Do you have, you know, the number of bishops that are under your jurisdiction as a commissary, and the feeling that the bishop, the kind of attachment the church, the Catholics, they know about the land?
Well, first of all, there are 73 dioceses and eparchies. Obviously, they're not all Roman Catholic. We have Ukrainian Catholics, we have Syro-Malabar, there's Melkite, Byzantine Slovaks, Chaldeans, Syro-Catholics as well. Small bishoprics, but there's a wide variety. So 73 dioceses. I would say the bishops are supportive, at least the money comes in from the collection. And that's already something very positive. How much do they know about the Holy Land? I would say not very much at all. And I would say that, oddly enough, or sadly, probably the war in these past few years has made the Holy Land better known throughout Canada by everybody, bishops as well, but by the general Christian population, the people in the pew. I would say one little difficulty is that many of the priests, because Canada is a missionary country, you know, we have priests who come from sub-Saharan Africa for the French part of the church, we have Indians, we have Vietnamese, we have priests coming from all over to help the diocese, different dioceses. There are sometimes difficulties with these priests fitting into the culture of the local church that exists. And also, sometimes these priests simply are not too concerned about larger questions like the Holy Land. And bishops, too, have their own difficulties and problems to deal with. And so that obviously gets first priority. The Good Friday collection is a sure thing. It's going to happen, it does happen, and people are generous. The commissariat, I suppose, keeps the bishops honest because we publish how much money are given by different dioceses, not publicly, but to the bishops themselves, so they compare and talk with one another, I'm sure, because they sometimes get back to me.
Sorry, this is very important because you send back to the bishop the reports of how much you collect from Canada, and they know how much money you collect from every. There's a kind of competition too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
They get the feedback. And
they get the feedback. Okay.
And
about the whole country.
That's right. And so you know, I sometimes give a 5-year
report
comparison.
5 years comparison.
And if there are a few years when they're missing, then they sometimes get on to one another.
Yeah.
So it keeps them honest. Yeah.
Padre Luis, sí.
Sí. Bueno, el conocimiento que tienen los cristianos de Tierra Santa y a veces incluso los obispos, yo creo que es en muchas ocasiones limitado. Queda muy lejos, es un lugar de peregrinación, de turismo o una misión, pero creo que en muchas ocasiones no lo sienten como la Iglesia Madre de Jerusalén, que nos tiene que doler cuando sufre en sus miembros. Todos hemos nacido de Jerusalén, de aquí era Jesucristo, la Virgen María, por esto es importante. Y encima se meten a veces los temas políticos, Palestina, Israel, todo lo que las noticias transmiten, pues también se meten en la conciencia de los cristianos y en la conciencia de nuestros pastores, incluso de los obispos. Por eso, bueno, pues es un tema complejo. Pero bueno, ahí está nuestra función de difundir, ¿no? Tierra Santa. ¿Cuál ha sido la estrategia que desde, al menos en lo que yo conozco desde el año 2015 he querido? Pues presencia. La primera palabra, la palabra clave sería presencia, hacernos presentes. Por eso, desde el principio, me pareció muy importante que la colecta y las peregrinaciones tenían que estar muy unidos, las dos cosas. Cuando enviamos la propaganda del Viernes Santo, va un cartel de peregrinaciones. Cuando en Navidad anunciamos peregrinaciones, hablamos de colectas y de donativos. Siempre colectas y peregrinaciones es necesario. Por eso el lema que hemos adoptado y que hemos difundido, Tierra Santa te espera y te necesita. Te espera para la peregrinación, te necesita para tus donativos. Y ya esto también desde el principio hicimos una lista no solo de parroquias, sino de todos los centros católicos, colegios, hermandades, cofradías, capellanías, vida religiosa, conventos, monasterios, etc. Identificamos 13.000 en nuestro territorio y enviamos 2 veces al año, tanto en Navidad como en Semana Santa, un sobre con unos materiales. En Navidad, felicitación de Navidad, el calendario, una carta, el cartel, etcétera, una hoja, una publicación que empezamos a hacer en el año 2015, y en Semana Santa lo normal, cartel, tríptico, estampa, pero también la hoja de la publicación que hacemos y otros materiales. Al enviar a estas 13.000 direcciones, pues ya se va creando esta conciencia de que Tierra Santa es nuestra madre, que nos tiene que interesar, que nos espera y nos necesita. Esta presencia hace que se permita que cuando alguien de la Comisaría de Tierra Santa, el equipo, ¿no?, o el comisario, yo o algún otro hermano, nos dirigimos, pues vamos con una pretensión de decir que somos los que naturalmente recogemos las colectas, así nos lo ha pedido la Santa Sede, y también los que naturalmente coordinamos las peregrinaciones. Decimos que pueden ir con la agencia que quieran o como quieran, pero lo normal sería ir con los franciscanos, con la Comisaría de Tierra Santa. Como lo normal es entregar la colecta de Tierra Santa a los franciscanos, Comisaría de Tierra Santa. Eso no lo duda nadie porque la Santa Sede así lo pide. Pero las peregrinaciones a veces es más difícil. Cada obispo se hace un acuerdo con una agencia. Todo esto pues llama un poco más la atención, pero lo extendemos, lo difundimos, y esto ha hecho pues que poco a poco hemos crecido mucho en peregrinaciones. En el año 2015 empezamos con la comisaría, como he dicho antes. En el año 2016 coordinamos 52 peregrinaciones en la provincia. En el año 2017 fueron 113 peregrinaciones. En el año 2018, 185. Y en el año 2019 pasamos de 300. Eso significa más de 10.000 peregrinos llevamos desde España a Tierra Santa. Esto no es porque lo hagamos bien, sino porque la gente fue entendiendo y en las diócesis fueron entendiendo que lo normal sería ir a través de los franciscanos. ¿Qué hacemos para ello? Cuidar mucho la peregrinación. Formamos guías con colaboración de la custodia, hemos organizado aquí algunos cursos, muy en contacto también con Notre Dame para los sacerdotes. Les decimos, cuando nos escriben, y la última vez fue hace muy pocos días, cuando un sacerdote quiere ser guía de Tierra Santa, realmente no hace falta que pase por nosotros, lo sabemos. Pero allí les digo que es muy importante, que sería lo necesario pasar por nosotros. Yo también estoy en contacto con la oficina de Notre Dame. Una vez al año convocamos a todos los que tienen el permiso para asistir espiritualmente a las peregrinaciones. Vienen de todos los sitios y les reunimos, les explicamos en qué consiste una peregrinación de la Comisaría Tierra Santa. ¿Cuáles son las peculiaridades? Pues tiene que tener contacto con la realidad social. Por eso les hablamos pues, de cómo viven los cristianos en Tierra Santa. En Betfagé se pueden ver las casas. Les pedimos que participen en celebraciones propias de Tierra Santa. Les invitamos al Rosario de San José en Nazaret, la exposición del Santísimo, Rosario de Antorchas, al Ángelus de las 12 en Nazaret, a la procesión de las 12 del mediodía en Belén, la procesión de las 5 o 4 de la tarde en el Santo Sepulcro. Entonces, les vamos inculcando que una peregrinación no consiste en que un guía vaya con una agencia a ver cosas y se vuelva. No, no. Tiene que meterse en la vida de Tierra Santa. Cuidamos la parte anterior a la peregrinación, emails, reuniones, etcétera, y la parte posterior. Obligamos a que las agencias que colaboran con nosotros regalen durante el primer año la revista Tierra Santa, un email newsletter que reciben una vez al mes los peregrinos. Y así pues se va consiguiendo. Y gracias a esto pues en el año 2017 hice un estudio por ver qué cantidad de peregrinos pasan por nosotros respecto a los que no pasan. Y vi que, según las estadísticas de Cafarnaún, fueron 20.000 los peregrinos españoles y 5.000 habían pasado por nosotros. Es decir, 1 de cada 4 españoles que ha venido en peregrinación ha pasado por la comisaría. Entonces esto pues es un poco los objetivos. Y con la colecta pues lo mismo. También la colecta la apoyamos financiando también proyectos sociales. Pues esta mañana veíamos el colegio de Beljanina o proyectos en Siria, en Líbano, en Jericó, en Emaús. Y así los peregrinos y los obispos y los sacerdotes ven que ese dinero no va en general para Tierra Santa, sino que es proyectos concretos que se apoyan.
Gracias. Thank you. Gracias.
Sí.
Padre Luis, un número. Give me a number. How many dioceses, how many bishops you have in Spain?
49, en la provincia que nosotros tenemos, 49 obispos.
¿En toda España?
En toda España calculo que 70 y tantos. Quizá en la provincia de Aránzazu otros 10 más o menos y en la provincia de Santiago otros 10. En el año 2031 todos seremos la misma provincia.
Tell us more about your office. Who does the work? Who helps you? Where is located your office? How you manage a big country with 73 dioceses and 4 different hours of time?
Okay, well, there is, first of all, until just recently, I just moved this summer to Montreal. Prior to that, I was in Western Canada. So we worked at a distance. I have an office administrator at the office in Ottawa, where we have no friary, no Franciscan presence at all, but the office was established there 100 years ago, and it's just stayed there for, I'm not quite sure what reason, and in fact, we're going to be moving it soon. Again, the 3rd time in 6 years, for different reasons. At any rate, I was living about 4.5 hours away by plane, so I would fly to Ottawa every 2 months.
This is your office?
That's the building that we have an office in, yes. It's the most recent one. Prior, and that's my office administrator, Jean d'Arc Habergera. She's a Rwandese, French-speaking. She speaks some English as well. That's part of the office. So I would fly from Edmonton, Western Canada, about a 4-hour flight. If I can get a direct flight, I would stay in Ottawa for maybe 5 weeks or 3 weeks, depending. Otherwise, I would work from my computer, doing the banking, online banking by computer, in contact with printers, publishers, doing everything, writing letters, emails, responding with hooked up, linked computers from Western Canada. Now in Montreal, I do pretty much the same thing, but I go to Ottawa more frequently because it's a 2-hour train trip. Jeanne d'Arc did the daily sort of stuff, emails, correspondence, some of the other work. I did basically the Good Friday appeal and keep up the website. The work, in a sense, was pretty limited because, in fact, we weren't very much involved with pilgrims. I could say a lot about that and some of the difficulties. As far as the actual work for the Good Friday collection and the website, there's always the question of getting adequate information on time. For example, when I go back from this conference, I will begin my Good Friday preparation. So that's a question of looking for posters and getting photographs. It's a question of revising mailing lists. It's a question of writing letters to all the parishes. Last year we delivered to 3,400 parishes, packages of letters to the parish priests, posters, instructions on how to make announcements for the 2 Sundays prior to Good Friday, and also letters to the bishops, asking them to support and asking them to remind their priests and that sort of thing. That's pretty much the Good Friday appeal, but it will start when I get back in December. As far as the website, the communications center here has wonderful videos about the friars in procession from one holy site to another site. But really the only source of information that I can count on is from the Terra magazine, Marie Armel Beaulieu's French version, because there are good articles in there that I'm able to put up on the website. For example, helping people of the Holy Land live long and prosper. Mary Armel did a video quite a number of years ago, before Gaza was bombed, and she's explaining the difficulty for Christian Arabs and all Palestinian Arabs, the difficulty they have in this country and the like. It was an excellent interview. I transcribed it so I could print it out, and I did a translation in English. There are other articles there that I'm able to put up that talk about Jewish involvement, the possibility of a 2-state solution, the question of, there's articles on Zababda, the beating heart of the Palestinian Christian community. I can't find this on the Commissariat website, but I can find it in Marie Armel's Terre magazine. And so that's what I rely on. It works well for me because I have to do this in French and English.
Father Bob, I'll come back to you soon asking about the main challenges, difficulties, and in a few words. But first, I want to ask to Father Luis, your office, who helps you? How many volunteers or people that works? Where is your office?
En la oficina que tenemos en Madrid tenemos una persona contratada, una secretaria. Hay un grupo de voluntarios. Tenemos varios grupos de amigos de Tierra Santa extendidos por toda España. El principal está en Madrid. Y, por ejemplo, hoy han empezado ya a preparar los sobres los 13.000 sobres que se enviarán para Navidad. Las dos campañas que llamamos, invitamos a varios voluntarios que nos ayuden para realizarlo. Y luego tenemos otros lugares donde hay secretarios, pero que en plan voluntariado, Barcelona y Valencia.
Perfetto. Grazie. Just last question, very fast. Just some insight. Main challenges, main difficulties for your mission.
Main difficulties. Well, the actual work that I do, I'm able to do, which in a sense isn't all that much, doesn't present any main difficulties. But the biggest challenge, of course, is pilgrims, and you're asking for pilgrims. It's very difficult to have pilgrims in Canada because of the size. That is to say, for the Commissariat to manage pilgrimages. There are all sorts of travel agencies, and oddly enough, the majority of travel agencies in Canada are Jewish, and some of them are actually originate right here in Jerusalem. They advertise, the links are with online or however, with Jerusalem. They offer wonderful descriptions of Christian pilgrimages. When you look at the itinerary, you see that there's very little presence in any of the Christian sites. It's really quite a lot of propaganda for how wonderful things are in Israel. If I don't know whether you want me to carry on with this,
No,
but that's one of the challenges.
And any challenge, what will help you, what do you think will help you for the Good Friday collection?
Well, Good Friday collection, it's almost a sure thing, you know. It's taken up in all the parishes. Most of the parishes, members of the parishes, have envelopes printed by the Conference of Bishops. They give their donations. One of the things that is beginning to happen is there's much more online banking, automatic debits, so people deposit, rather than using envelopes in a collection, they deposit automatically to the parish's bank account, in which case I'm not sure the Good Friday collection is getting there. So that's one small thing, but really I would say the Good Friday collection is a sure thing. It's going to happen. My sending out these packages of posters and letters and everything else just keeps the issue alive and keeps people, bishops, priests, honest. One of the difficulties, as I mentioned before, is that many of the priests or secretaries in the parish don't even know anything about the Good Friday collection. You know, they receive this package. I remember getting one phone call. Actually, it was my assistant who took the phone call. And it was one of the parish secretaries for one of the parishes. And she was complaining. She called us back and said, stop sending this information about this Good Friday collection. And so we had to explain to this woman working in the parish office that, in fact, yes, this is demanded by the Holy See, and it's to be taken up in all these parishes. Now, you know, I'm sure there are some parishes that just throw this package that they get in the garbage. I'm not sure that all these posters and the money invested, which is not all that much really, is put to the best use. But the collection is going to take place. It does take place. And the people, I think, are pretty generous. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Padre Luis.
La dificultad mayor que yo veo es que es mucha tarea y estamos a veces pluriempleados, como nos pasa seguro a todos nosotros, que somos a la vez párrocos, secretarios de evangelización, de misión, definidores, mucha tarea para poco. Y después que de los 3 grandes objetivos que tiene la Comisaría de Tierra Santa se convierten en 3 grandes peligros, que pueden ser 3 grandes dificultades. Primer objetivo, difundir el amor por Tierra Santa. El peligro, la dificultad que nos critican, pues que amamos más Tierra Santa que nuestra propia provincia, porque a veces nos toca acompañar discernimiento vocacional para Tierra Santa y no para la provincia, hacer cosas para Tierra Santa y no para la provincia, primera crítica y dificultad. Segundo objetivo, las peregrinaciones, llevar peregrinos. Segunda crítica y dificultad y peligro, que estamos todo el día fuera. que si estamos de vacaciones, el poder que da a las peregrinaciones, que si nos invitan, nos llevan para allá, para acá. Segunda crítica. Tercer objetivo, recoger colectas, donativos y enviarlo a Tierra Santa. Tercer peligro y crítica, que manejamos muchísimo dinero. Quizá somos los frailes dentro de las provincias que más dinero podemos manejar con el peligro que eso puede llevar. Así que es necesario que el comisario de Tierra Santa sea muy honesto, que ame mucho Tierra Santa y que mantenga atención a estos tres peligros que se pueden presentar.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. Before we open the discussion, if any one of you has insight, I want to just talk 5 minutes about our Italian experience. From 1 year, I am in Rome working for the custody of the Holy Land. I've been working for the custody for the last 20 years between Bethlehem, Jerusalem, and I spent 1 year in Washington. And 1 year ago, Father Francesco de Custos gave me the task to be coordinator at the service of the Franciscan Commissary of the Holy Land in Italy. In Italy, we have, if Francesco can launch our website, in Italy we have 8 Commissari of the Holy Land. All of them are, with their staff, are present to this meeting. I just giving continuity to the work that Father Custos started. We have a special website called the Colletta del Venerdì Santo, the Good Friday collection, where everybody during the year can all the information about the Good Friday collection. But I want to tell you, if Francesco, you can go up to the page and show the page of Commissari, Frati Commissari, sì, grazie. Scroll down. You see the map of Italy, and people that they go on the website, they can get all the information about the Good Friday collection, and they can contact the commissary, because the coordination is not replacing the work of the commissary, but is coordinating, promoting, where we are trying to put resources together. This is the aim. So saving from one side, but also sharing information, sharing materials. And this year, now we are preparing for the Good Friday collection for next year. And maybe for the first time, we are all going out together with one campaign, one similar campaign for all the commissariats. The work that you see on this website, if you, Francesco, can go up again, you have all the, it's in Italian, but today with the artificial intelligence, you can translate where you have a material of the, if you need anything of these materials, if you see that any kind of this work could be useful for your commissariat, just email me, WhatsApp me, and you can use. The work that we done, we do it for everybody. It's open, we are open to everybody. Between the work that we do, there is a short video that I will show you. But before I show you the video and open the discussion, I want to tell you something else. The Good Friday collection for us is the ask. So it's the last step of a work. It's the time where we ask for the money. But during the year, we work for the ask. During the year, we do what in fundraising we call cultivation. The cultivation is the place where we contact the bishop, we visit the bishop, we visit the parish, we do the pilgrimage, we do send the Christmas letter, we ask, we send information through website, the Holy Land Review, the Terra Santa magazine. So the Good Friday collection, the ask that we do the bishop should be just the last part of a work that restart again with the reporting, cultivation, and ask. It's a cycle that keep us busy all over the year. And more we keep busy, more we get results. There is a short video that we prepare for spot television. I have a good news, maybe we can give now for the Father Custos and also for some of the Italian Franciscan. that for the first time, our spot of the Good Friday collection, we go on Rai television and during the Holy Week. We already had an agreement with the Rai television that it means that the spot of the Good Friday collection goes to all the Italian. And in the time where all the Italian, at least the Catholics, are following the Pope, are following. There is another important investment that we are doing, the investment of time, because it's just relation in Rome, that is about working with the Vatican. Many news agencies, Catholic news agencies, have their staff at the Vatican. So you know that during the Good Friday collection and starting from the beginning of the time of Lent, we tried to push. Last year we had 3 letters, 3 official letters from the Vatican during the time of Lent to all the language on the Vatican website to invite the bishop and to promote the Good Friday collection. So this is all work that you can collect, you can take from the website, you can take it without permission and reproduce. There is also a small video on the campaign that I'll show you now. It's a spot of 15 seconds that you can use audio or video for TV, and this is made for a TV. We are also ready to give you the spot ready, and the Christian Media Center can prepare a special video where you can use your technology to make it in your language.
Viviamo nella terra più amata da Dio, ricordando ciò che è accaduto, prendendoci cura del presente, preparando il futuro. Dona speranza, semina la pace. Adesso visita il sito collettadelvenerdìsanto.it.
If you work in relation, sometimes could be very, very effective and for free. If we want to sell it to a national broadcast, it costs 30,000, 40,000 euro, 50,000 euro. So, yes, this is, if you have any insight for your commissariate, if you want to say something about your experience, any good work to share, we are here to listen. Thank you, because we miss Asia in this meeting. So
in our case, we have 87 dioceses in the Philippines, so most of the populations are Catholic. And when I took over as the commissary, for 4 years, it's very minimal because we don't have 2 consecutive years of a public celebration of the Holy Week because of the pandemic. And I find it helpful every time we celebrate during Advent season and Lenten season, I will send Christmas card and Easter card to all the bishops. So, and I also send them gifts and calendar on Christmas. So it helps, no? When I took over, for the 4 years collection, because the 2 years is very low, but when this year, we have a good amount of collections because it helps. And the problem that we encounter in the Philippines, especially now that the corruption is rampant, the banks are restricted. So we cannot send big amount outside the country. And that's one of the difficult things that we encountered in our country. You need to have a lot of paperwork explaining why are you sending this amount to the Holy Land? And what is this Terra Santa Good Friday collection? So one thing that I would suggest is that the Commissary or the custody of the Holy Land will establish a sort of legal entity, like for example the Caritas. So they are allowed to receive donations in big amount. That's our problem. We have difficulty in explaining to the bank what is the nature of the Good Friday collection. So thanks be to YouTube that we were able to show some picture about what is happening here in the Holy Land. So the manager, so when the last time that I sent money, So I work with the provincial. I bring the provincial to the bank because we are the signatory. Me as the commissary and the provincial, we are both because we cannot open an account in the name of the commissary because we don't have legal entity. Only the provincial or the name of the province, because it is in the name of a corporation. So that is the reason why both of us are signatory in the account, the provincial and the commissary. So that's one problem that we are encountering. So it's very difficult for us to send the money to the Holy Land. It's good that you have 3 accounts. They give us one account in Germany, one account in Israel, and I forgot the other one. But I received 3 accounts. So it's good that you have an account in Germany. So we send the money in Germany. There's no more explanation because if we send it here in Israel, there are a lot of questions that we need to answer. So the other, it's not a problem, but the other difficulties that we encountering, most of the dioceses in the Philippines, they give their collections late. It is stated in our ordo that 15 days after the Good Friday, so they will send it to the commissary. It is stated there. But the problem is, we have to wait them sometimes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but they're still contributing. But sometimes we see that some dioceses, they give their collections for 3 years. So that's one of the dilemma that we are encountering. We cannot send it right away to the Holy Land because of that limitations. So the 2 limitations, first, we need to have a lot of paperwork explaining why we are sending this amount to the Holy Land. And then the second, we have to wait for a year, at least a year. So every year we send our collection because some dioceses, they send or they give us their Good Friday collection late. That's all. Thank you.
Father, sorry, one question I have. You say you have 87 bishops, dioceses?
Yes.
And how many Catholics in your country?
So the population of the Philippines is around 120. The Catholics are 82%.
100
So, but
million.
the practicing Catholic is around only 10%.
Yeah, of course.
For example, if we round it up, around 100 million. The Catholics are 100 million.
And who helps you? Who help you in your office? Do you have any?
So, my office is under the office of the provincial procurator.
Okay.
So I have one secretary who is receiving the donations. But most of the donations are done by the diocese bank to bank. Okay. So.
And who prepares the letter? You by yourself?
Yeah, I am the one who is preparing the letter, and then it is sent to the bishops.
Amazing.
Thanks be to God that we have the support of the bishops. Most of the bishops knew the Good Friday collection. And one time, the other apostolic vicariate, the new bishop doesn't know what to do, so they send the collection to the nuncio.
Okay.
And then the nuncio sent it to our office.
Very good.
And the results last year, or this Good Friday, there's a confusion because the dicastery for Oriental churches sent a letter of appeal. And some secretaries from the different chanceries of the diocese sent me a letter and said, Father, we are confused. Where are we going to send our Good Friday collection? To the dicastery or to the commissary? I told them it's better to send it to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other experience, beautiful things to share, or challenges? Yes. Far East, Australia.
We have Australia is a bit like, very much like Canada. So myself and Bob, we have very similar. I was very interested to hear from you, Bob. We do a lot of things very similarly. But in recent years, as well as sending material out online, now we send a lot of the material to parishes electronically. So, in fact, we try to do both, because if you send it electronically, they get posters, they get letters, they get everything. But if it's in the inbox of their computer and then they forget to print it out or forget to look at it, it gets lost. So we do both. We send it electronically and also by post. The post is more work, obviously, but we have a team of volunteers in the parish or wherever I am to handle it. But Vincenzo, I was very interested in your website there. I'd love to have access to that.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, because I think, actually that answers some of my questions, and I had the same issue as Bob, is getting relevant material early enough, if I get a video or something from the custody, 2 weeks before Good Friday, it's too late. It's too late. The letter from the custos, all those things have to reach us weeks and weeks before Good Friday, because all that material has to go out in good time, So I think here in the custody, to keep that in mind, that last minute material, we just can't use it, so which is a pity. Huh? Yeah. So to do things really early, if possible, and to have that material that is relevant, looking at your social programs here, we're not interested in having lots of videos about liturgical celebrations, because people are not that interested. That's not going to help them to give money. But if they see pictures of the friars helping people, working with the poor, helping families in Syria or wherever, that will touch people's hearts. And so that's the sort of things we need.
Just two numbers. How many dioceses in Australia and how many Catholics you have?
Now you're testing me.
Yes.
I think, Australia is about half the size of Canada. We have 25 million people. 26% are Catholic in the census, and of those 26% of the population, maybe if you are lucky, 5% go to Mass, but on Good Friday, more people go on Good Friday. So we're looking at smaller numbers from Canada. The diocese, I just can't remember, I think it's about 20-something. So we're about half the size of Canada, because we're nearly half the population. Yeah, but again, but the country, to fly from one side of Australia to the other is 5 hours. So we are spread out, again, a big country, but a smaller population, yeah.
About the timing, just to tell you that our timing is the end of November. Usually we have as deadline to prepare all the material for the Good Friday collection, including the Via Crucis, the information for the booklet that we sent to the bishop, by the end of November, beginning of December. And we sent to the bishop by the beginning of Lent. So this is the timing.
Yeah.
Of course, the campaign, the visual campaign online, this will start after Christmas,
right,
the beginning of Lent.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, but Father David Grenier is here, that already in the United States, they already have everything ready for the Good Friday collection, because the timing is already passed. So they already decide the graphics ready, because it's another big country with many bishops.
Yeah.
So yes, timing is very important.
But I know that the custody here, the custos, they send a report of how the money has been spent. I think in the previous financial year, isn't it? At least they used to. They still send a report. It's usually a few pages saying, how the money was spent here in the custody, what projects.
We will deliver this question for the next days.
Next session, okay, yeah. Because that's very important, because we send that to the bishops, and the bishops want to see that.
Absolutely.
But if it comes late, then we can't send it to them in time. Yeah. Anyway,
absolutely. We are just on time. We are 5:30. Of course, this is the beginning of the discussion that by the word of the Congress, we can continue inside the workshop, and then to bring the results with the needs for your mission and the challenge of your mission to the groups, and then from the groups again to the stage for the coming days. Thank you again, Father Luis.
Sí.
Yes.
Solo un momento. Mañana vamos a ir al campo de los pastores, donde varios países hemos construido distintas capillas. En la que ha construido España hay un recurso catequético que podemos usar los comisarios y todos los guías, y es que hemos hecho 20 iconos con el recorrido de la Virgen María desde su nacimiento hasta su asunción. Entonces, para que lo podamos usar, para que mostremos al peregrino, una vez que han estado en Tierra Santa ya, pues catequéticamente. Voy a pasar al grupo en inglés, en italiano y en español la explicación del retablo, simplemente para que pueda ser un recurso catequético que podamos usar con nuestros peregrinos.
Father Bob, thank you very much for your time, for taking this adventure to be on stage with me. Also, thank you, Father Luis.
Open yourself to a gesture of solidarity and support the mission of the Custody of the Holy Land. The Christian Media Center spreads the good news of Jesus by making known to the world the spirituality of the holy places and the lives of the Christians who live here. Your contribution will help us bring the proclamation of the risen Lord, the most urgent of all, to men and women of every language and nation. To help us concretely, open the QR code. Your choice makes a difference.